Hello everyone, it's Brandy here. I am back with another 10 and 20. You guys have emailed me and shared your comments about how much you loved the Be Mine 10 and 20. I'm so excited about that. So I thought, well, what can I share next? So I thought the perfect thing would be a happy birthday 10 cards in 20 minutes. Who doesn't need happy birthday cards, right? And many of you email me and ask me for those types of cards. So I'm excited. I hope to inspire you with this card that I have to share today using the Darling Details bundle. It's a fabulous bundle. It's actually in your annual catalog on page 68. So I'm going to show you that stamp set. But if you're new to Brandy's Cards, I want to welcome you and share a little bit about what a 10 cards in 20 minutes is. It's not about how fast I'm making these cards. It's really more about the process. Sometimes we have more birthdays in a month, right? I love to make cards for my team members and for my family and friends. And so I like to do multiple cards. So this is how I do it, and it's fun to share. And I hope that it might help you as you work through making your cards. Most important is make cards, send cards, get them out there to your family and friends. Let them know that you're thinking about them and that you love them. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So this is the bundle that we're using. It's called Darling Details, and oh, is it adorable? Perfect for spring. Like I said, it is in your Stampin' Up annual catalog, and it is on page 68. Oh gosh, I love that set too. So many wonderful stamp sets in here. Oh my goodness. So here we go. So here is your Darling Details. So you can see that you can die cut these flowers. There's this ornate border that's fantastic. Gosh, look at that. This would be cute with our little taco set too. There's just so many fun things you can do with this. So I actually have like three, maybe four, three different samples for sure that I'm excited to show you that I created with this set. But first off, I'm going to show you the 10 cards in 20 minutes birthday card. Now, I'm going to just set all of this aside. And what's most important when you're doing this process is that you get everything ready. I highly recommend you cut your cardstock, you pull your ink colors, you have your dies, anything that you wanted to die cut and ready to go. It just makes it a more smooth process, and it's a lot of fun too. So here we go. I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. So first off, I'm going to use my Berry Burst stamp pad, and this is such a fun stamp set. I just think it is so pretty. So I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper here, and I have my Berry Burst, and what I'm planning on doing, actually I don't need that quite yet. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp it just kind of off to the side like that. This first one is the one that I have to kind of get lined up and get right. And so once I do that, then it's pretty easy going after that. And so I'm just going to set this one right up here and just kind of eye it. Gosh, it doesn't have to be perfect by any stretch. But the reason that I do kind of want my flower a certain way is because I have got a really pretty piece of glimmer paper. It's a pretty peacock glimmer paper. It's actually on our Stampin' Up! Online exclusives. It actually comes in a pack called 3-color glimmer paper, and it's got petal pink and I believe gorgeous grape. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I can see some beautiful spring projects coming with it for sure. So it is going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just stamping the outline. Yep, the outline of our flower here. So this is a 2-step stamp, which I think is pretty fantastic. It allows you to get really creative with colors, and you can kind of switch it up. So I'm going to take, that was Berry Burst, and I'm going to leave that open actually. And then I'm going to come in with my bubble bath. Okay, so I have my bubble bath now, and we're just going to come back and set this all back aside. And here is my 2-step stamping. This is the flower that goes on top of my flowers here. And now that I recall, I don't need to stamp off. You can certainly stamp off, but I liked the bubble bath straight on. So my stamping off is coming, I promise you. But I did like this one straight on there. I liked it, kind of a brighter pink. So this is the second stamp for this flower. It fills it in quite beautifully, as you can see. And so it's just a lot of fun. I enjoy, you know, mixing the colors. I mean, gosh, you could stamp the outside of this in maybe pumpkin pie and then stamp the inside in daffodil delight. Or maybe you'd use calypso coral and daffodil delight or pumpkin pie. So just really a lot of possibilities in your stamping for sure. So I'm just kind of moving through, and these don't have to be perfect. That's what I really like about the two-step stamp, is that I feel like it just kind of lends itself to kind of, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect in the lines. I do kind of like the white to kind of show through here and there. Okay, so that's perfect. So I'm going to set that one aside as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some Daffodil Delight. So Daffodil Delight is going to be my yellow flower. So that flower is going to bring in just a bit more color to my card. And so let's see, I'm going to just set that aside because I don't think that I'm going to need it. And so here we go. I'm just going to kind of work my way around. And remember, I'm going to have my peacock strip right there. So I'm not too concerned about that portion of it over here. So I'm not concerned at all, actually, because I'm going to layer that up over there. Now, on my original card that I made, and I'm going to show you both, I actually used the shimmer paper, which was beautiful, but I didn't have any shimmer paper left. And I think that is, you know, and I thought, well, gosh, I really wanted to share this video with you because I thought it would be perfect for spring and for flowers. And I do think it's a perfect birthday card. So I kind of started looking at my catalog, and I started looking at the things that I had, and I've came across my my glimmer paper, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's absolutely perfect, and I might like it better. So not only do we have the glimmer paper, but you could certainly use maybe our assortments designer series paper in that color. That would be great too. So it just was kind of a reminder that use what you have and don't get too caught up in it having to be the exact way that you've seen it done. Okay, so let's come back in here, and I have my yellow flower. This is the second one. This is the one that I've been dying to stamp off, right? And so we're going to just stamp it on. Now I could stamp it straight for color if I wanted to, but I really kind of like that yellow just a little bit more subtle, where the outline is kind of what is just really sort of popping out at you. So that's what I really liked. And it's just real subtle. So pretty. So pretty. So we're just going to kind of work our way around. I'm excited. I do have a couple other cards that I am going to share with you. Now, I have people ask me all the time, Brandy, I'm super excited. I want to get some stamp pads and some colors, and where do I start? Well, I always recommend starting with the brights. And as you can see here, if I were to stamp this yellow straight on, it's a bright, pretty yellow. But when I stamp off, what do I get? I get a subtle. That's right, so I get a light, subtle color. So I feel like it's the perfect way to start if you're getting started stamping, is start with a collection of bright colors. You've got bright blue, bright green, yellow, and maybe a purple in there, and a red, and a pink as well, right? So you have all of those bright colors, but then if you stamp them off like I'm doing, and then stamp them on your project, well, now you have got a light color as well. And we call that the subtles in our Stampin' Up color families. So that is what that is called. So just kind of, something to think about if you're new to stamping. And if you are new to stamping, welcome. We're super excited to have you. You will love it so much. and you'll be addicted in no time. That's right. We all at some point have to raise our right hand and admit that we love our stamping and crafting so much. So it's just way too much fun. Way too much fun. Okay, so I think this is done now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another color for you. So here, let me get that straight. So the next color that I'm going to pull out is going to be Pretty Peacock. This is another favorite color of mine. And so I'm going to set that aside. Now, Pretty Peacock, what we're going to do is we're going to add the leaf, okay? So the leaf is going to go wherever you would like it, but I'm just going to kind of add it right in here. So I'm just going to add my Pretty Peacock leaf, and as you can see, this card, I'm just building it up, and it is just coming to life beautifully. It really is. It's just so pretty. And again, the beauty of it is you can use whatever colors you would like. These are just a few of the colors that I've picked, but gosh, there are so many beautiful colors that we have in our Stampin' Up! Color family. So I highly recommend you just giving it a try and seeing what you can come up with. So here, have a look at this. So you can see I'm stamping the outline of my leaf, right? Well, we actually have another stamp that you can stamp on top of that and fill that in. So that's pretty cool, right? So you can actually fill that leaf in. But let me ask you, do you like it not filled in? I kind of do. But you know what? I'll fill one in for you, and then you can really kind of let me know what you think, right? Just so much fun. Now, as you can see, I've kind of left the center of this piece empty or without any stamping. I've done that for a reason. I've done that because I thought it would be the perfect place to add a sentiment. So this is the perfect card that you could set aside. You could make a bunch of these cards and then you could set them aside and you could tailor them when the time comes. So maybe you need a thinking of you or a happy birthday. If you set them aside, you can always stamp that sentiment later. So just a little FYI there, right? All right, so Pretty Peacock, we talked about the leaf. So here's the second stamp for that. So I can go ahead and just stamp one of them for you. I'm going to stamp it off and then you would stamp it on. Oh, that is pretty, isn't it? So it's pretty easy to do. As you can see, I'm stamping it off. If I were to stamp it straight on there, it would be fairly dark, right? And we might lose kind of the vein in that line of that leaf. So by stamping it off, I'm getting that subtle color that I'm looking for. So what do you think? You guys like it so far? I hope so. It's a fun card to make and it is super, super easy. And again, this is in our annual catalog. So if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love the opportunity to help you earn your business, inspire you, and answer any questions you have. My goal is to, it just brings me great joy to create and share my love of paper crafting with you. And my goal has always been to inspire you to create and send your cards. It's so important. We, as card makers, have a talent that's pretty special. And if you make and send those cards, you can brighten somebody's day. And boy, it's fun to make them. It's fun to send them. But gosh, when you get a call or a phone call or an email, text message from somebody who's received your card and they let you know what a difference it made, is pretty fantastic. So just remember that the cards don't have to be perfect. So I hope that you are sending them. It's really important. All right. So leave me a comment. Let me know you were here. I'd love to hear who's with me today. And you know, do you have this stamp set? I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so cool. So, so cool. All right. So I just have a couple more leaves here to stamp. And then I will be done with this part of it. And then we have this cute little flower to stamp. Yeah, it's adorable. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with the light color first. So I'm going to start out with Daffodil Delight. That is by design. And so we're going to start out with Daffodil Delight. And I'm just going to stamp a yellow flower. Okay. So it doesn't have to be anything, you know, crazy or in any special location. But I'm actually going to stamp 3 of these flowers, and I'm going to kind of play on the different colors. So here we go. I'm just kind of stamping them, and you can see I'm not stamping off on these, not at all. I do want this little flower to kind of be bright and vibrant because the others will be as well. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just stamping that guy down there, and depending on where I'm kind of at in my stamp pad, some spots in my stamp pad are a little more inky than others. And so you can always use the back of a spoon and push that ink around. So keep that in mind. Of course, if it still doesn't help, then you might need to add some re-inker to it for sure. Okay, so Daffodil Delight's done. Now I'm going to bring in Bubble Bath, and I'm just going to kind of clean off my stamp there. I had a little towel over there, but I just wanted to make sure that it was nice and clean. And so now I'm just adding Bubble Bath. Now remember, Bubble Bath was the color that we used to fill in our flower, wasn't it? So that's why I chose Bubble Bath, because I felt like it was a nice complement to one of the colors that we've already used. Oh, we almost forgot that one. And so, and you know, another cool thing is I've got some envelopes to show you. That's another thing is I always recommend this card is so easy and fun to make. You could stamp the insides of your cards just the same way. You could stamp your envelope to have that coordinating piece of stationery too. So just you know, keep that in mind as you're stamping. There's so much more that you can do to really kind of finish your stationery. So I'm going to bring back in my my Berry Burst. And this is totally how I do it. I take it in segments like this. I find it's just easier for me, one color at a time. Then I don't have to continue to go back and change that stamp set or you know, clean that stamp. This just is easy peasy, and it's just fun. It just makes me happy, really, especially when I get to play with all of these beautiful colors. So I have a happy birthday stamp that I'm going to stamp on my cards today. But again, you could totally leave the inside and leave the sentiment off of this card. That way, when the time comes, you'll be ready to pull it out and stamp a sentiment of whatever you would like. Thinking of you, whatever you would like it to be. But I always need birthday cards, especially for my team members. So I'm going to stamp happy birthday. I have Pretty Peacock here, and I'm going to stamp my happy birthday right there in the center. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I just think it's so pretty. And so that happy birthday is in Pretty Peacock. It is also one of the stamps that's in the Darling Details. So you will be able to, it all comes together in that stamp set. So it's pretty fantastic, really. So I'm just kind of adding that on there. And if you wanted something more, you could certainly take maybe a strip of paper, and you could do a strip if you wanted to. Yeah, so that's something that is totally doable. And see, we've got that perfect spot for that sentiment. All right. Okay, so we are well on our way. Up next is this fabulous shimmer paper that I was telling you about. It's so pretty, and so it's one of what we call an online exclusive. So all of our Stampin' Up! Products are online, right? You can buy all of our Stampin' Up! Products through our online store, but Stampin' Up! Is releasing products quarterly. And so these are some new products that are not published in any publication. So that's why it's called an online exclusive, because it's not in a catalog and in a publication that type, okay? So, and when they sell out, Stampin' Up! Doesn't tell us if they're going to restock them. So if you like glimmer paper and you like glitter and shimmer and that sort of thing, I would highly recommend, especially for spring, that you grab some of that. It's pretty fantastic. It is awesome, awesome, awesome. And keeping in mind, our spring catalog is out now as well. So if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please be sure to reach out to me. You can contact me at brandyscards.com/contact. send me an email, and I would love to answer any questions you have. I'd love the opportunity to earn your business and send you a complimentary set of catalogs. I think when you have those catalogs in front of you, it's fantastic. And you'll find so many ideas, so much inspiration. And, sometimes those catalogs can be overwhelming. So what I recommend is just, send me a note and say, okay, Brandy, I like a card on this page, and help me recreate it. Because really, it comes down to it. It's paper, ink, and stamps. But it can be overwhelming when you're just getting started. So let me guide you and let me help you. I would be honored to do so. I love this so much, and I think you're amongst many others that also enjoy paper crafting and card making. So here we go. I am just going to add one more. Looks like I have cut too many of these. It's kind of funny because I thought that I was, looks like I got a back of a dimensional stuck too. It was funny because I thought that I had not enough, and then all of a sudden I had too many. And so, it's all good. Alrighty. So what we're going to do now is I am going to flip these over just really quick. We're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals behind them, and then we're going to add them to our card base. Yep. Now before I add those Stampin' Dimensionals, I think what I need to do is I need to prepare my card bases, because once I get dimensionals on there, it's going to be a little bit harder. Yeah. So I'm just going to step over here since I've already got those out, and I am going to prep my card bases. Now I've already cut them. I've already scored them. So really I'm just folding them. You can use a bone folder and burnish them. Absolutely. But I find I love this basic white thick. And I find that it actually, if you've already scored it and you kind of give it a little squeeze here at the end, it lays nice and flat. It's pretty fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our Stampin' Dimensionals really quick. So when I add my dimensionals, this is totally how I do it. I just, sometimes I use both hands, but I just kind of move through like this. Now you could certainly add more dimensionals. Sometimes I get a little heavy with them, and sometimes I don't. Yeah, so, this is a pretty big surface. So, you might want a couple extra. It's up to you, especially if you're using, if you're not using thick cardstock, then I would say that would probably be a good idea for sure. So that top row has an extra one because that would be number 10. But I have, I've got all of the others right down here. I can't hardly wait to show you some of the other cards. So good. So much fun. And, the dies in this set are just fantastic. So I hope that you're enjoying my presentation, and I hope that you're enjoying these cards. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to like and subscribe so that you're notified of any upcoming projects and tutorials. And if you like my 10 and 20s, make sure you go back. I have several others that you could, enjoy as well. What I want you to remember, though, is it's not about how fast you put these cards together. That is not what it's about. It is really and truly about the process of making multiple cards and how I do it, right? Because maybe some of you would like to make multiple cards for a church ministry or for any type of ministry, right? So this is just kind of just the way that I do it and that I find the easiest thing for me. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going through and I am just taking the backs off. So I'm just, just carefully taking the backs off. Yes, I do have them sort of collected in my fingers. That's kind of crazy. I do that sometimes until they get too many like that, and then they kind of go all over. So I'm just going to continue to pull these off real quick, and then we're going to stick them down, and then we will be good to go. So yeah, so I was glad that I kind of prepared my card base ahead of time, right? Because otherwise I have no working room here. So I'm just going to set that aside. Let's see, let's find a little spot. And so we're just going to add this to our basic white card base. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, these cards are so pretty. So, so pretty. And you know, you can, I'm going to show you one that I've embellished with some sequins. So we have these just adhesive back sequins. They're so pretty. They come in pretty peacock, I believe bubble bath, and I think it could also be white. And so just, you know, you can embellish this. I'm going to also show you a sample that I did where I tied a baker's twine around it. Really nice and just kind of a different look. So, you know, you can be as creative as you would like and add as much extra goodies as you would like, okay? Because maybe, you know, maybe you want to go a jewel rhinestone or you know, a glossy dot or something like that instead. So there we go. That's it. All right. So we have 10 cards here. They are lovely. I hope that you like these cards too. But let me show you here with the fun little adhesive back sequins. So, so pretty. So here is a card that I also created. This one is with the soft shimmer, and I tied a baker's twine, a layer of baker's twine around it. I wrapped it twice. And so I also, look at that, I stamped the inside on that one. Happy birthday. And then on the inside, I stamped friend. So I kind of kept it all about the same. Now the sequins, let me just show you those. You're going to find those in the Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. And like I said, you've got the 2 sizes and the 3 colors. So really, really neat. That's the sequins trio. All right, so let me show you some envelopes, and then I'm excited to show you a couple more samples. So I'm just going to set all of those aside and check out this one. So there is, you could stamp the back of the envelope like that. You could stamp it like this, and you could add a little flower. It's just a different leaf. Or maybe you want it to, here, let me just kind of get these so you can kind of really get the full, there you go. So, or you could stamp it like your flap like this, which is kind of how we did the card. And then of course, you know, there's a couple other options here as well. So I was just playing with it and I was having fun. So I thought it would be fun to share it with you. Okay, so are you ready for a couple more examples? I have a couple more examples to show you that I think are just really neat. And so here, let me show you this one first. This one is using the soft shimmer, that's the Berry Burst. Now I used the dies in the Darling Details. So this is the die that I used. I die cut it out and I just added that to my card. I used the same happy birthday in the card that I just shared with you, in this card. And I stamped just down the back 3 rows, and I just thought that turned out really cool and really fun. And then I just added some extra shimmer on the inside. And of course, I wanted to stamp my envelope flap to make that coordinate. So I just thought that was kind of cool. Now, maybe you want something a little bit more fancy and you like something a little bit more ornate. Also in this stamp set, or stamp sets and dies, is this fun ornate border right here. You see? So here, check this one out. So that one is also lovely. And you've got that border. All I did was die cut that out of the shimmer paper. And then I stamped these flowers and die cut them out. And then I popped them up. I did stamp this right on the card base. So this sentiment is right on the card base. So I just thought that was cool. And you can see that I did the other leaves with this one and stamped my envelope to coordinate. Okay, so I hope that you like one of these samples. And of course, you know, maybe one of these cards that we created for, you know, for a birthday, you would enjoy creating. So I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you're having fun, you know, crafting and creating and sending your cards. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please be sure to like and subscribe. I would love to have you on this crafting journey with me. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to send you our annual catalog, a set of catalogs. I have the annual one, the spring, which is good through January 4th through April of 2024. And then this little celebration one, which is amazing as well. This one's only good 2 months. So we definitely need to get that one to you. And let me know, if you have any questions. Go to brandyscards.com/contact. Send me your address, and I will get a set of catalogs out in the mail to you. So I hope that you enjoyed this 10 and 20, and I hope that I've inspired you to go into your craft room and pull out maybe a floral set and start making some happy birthday cards. We're in the new year, and you can start to make those cards and get them ready for those birthdays to come. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. Bye, everybody.